Hey guys, this is Dave from Valor Fire Training coming to you from our new studio. We just moved down here. We're going to have some more room for live interviews and product reviews. We're really excited about everything that 2021 is going to bring. But I just wanted to take a second and make a video kind of explaining some stuff that I put on social media yesterday. For those of you that had not heard, I was called a counterculturist by one of my bosses at work. And first and foremost, I want to say that that post was not done out of spite. I am very fortunate to work in a department where I can speak my mind as long as it's done respectfully. And my bosses allow me to tell them what I think. And we kind of have a mutual respect. So I did have a lot of people reach out and kind of ask if everything was okay. And I explained to them that no, we're good. I have great bosses that I work for that allow me to, have an opinion. So I wanted to talk a little bit about being called a counterculturist. And the reason why I put that post up there is because that is the first time that I've openly been to my face called a counterculturist. And I was really amused. I was actually really excited about it. I've spent a long time in the fire service and I have not always been the way that I am. When I started in the fire service, I started out in a culture that was ears open, eyes open, mouth shut. And you didn't speak unless you were spoken to. And even if you were spoken to, the right answer was whatever you were just told. So as I moved through my career, I was fortunate enough to have mentors and leaders who showed me that you don't have to take things at face value. You don't have to just do it because it's always been done that way. And, some people called them the misfits. Some people called them the troublemakers. I learned more from those crews than I did pretty much anybody else. And so as I progressed through my career, I had a really hard time deciding, which hill to die on. There were a lot of things that I felt very passionate about that maybe nobody else did. And so again, through leadership and mentorship, I was able to learn how to better deal with that. And I'm still not really good at it. I'll be 100% honest with you. There's times where I wear people out. I come into work and I see something that needs to be changed. To me, it's just a simple fix. To them, it's not a big deal. So I think there is a silent majority of people who are counterculturists and they just don't talk about it. I mean, you would be amazed when we go teach and I talk to people kind of behind the scenes or off the grid. A lot of people have the same viewpoints. They just aren't as vocal as the, outspoken counterculturists. So when this boss called me a counterculturist, I was super excited. And, it was one of those times where it was a huge slap in the face, and I stood there for a second and I went, yeah, I am a counterculturist and I'm really proud of that. And so just to give you a little bit of backstory about what was going on, we were discussing moving some hose around on the hose bed as far as getting longer lines to make longer stretches for commercial fires. And one of the things that I had brought up was, we don't have enough line to make it into our biggest commercial structure. We have a large area of industrial buildings. And so, we're going to have to basically patch the hose together. We're going to have to add sections of hose to get to where we need to go in the worst case scenario. And so my solution was to rearrange the hose bed, add some dividers, get a 400 or 500 foot lay with, 2.5, 3 inch or 1.75 inch on the end. And when I brought it up, to me, it sounded super simple. And my boss immediately just looked and he goes, Melon, you're constantly trying to change stuff. You're always trying to do something different. You're such a counterculturist. And he wasn't doing it with ill intent. He wasn't doing it to be mean. He wasn't bullying me. But he brought up a really good point. And the thing that I realized in that moment was that there's two things that he knows. One, I'm not going to give up. As a counterculturist, we will research and come up with a solution, and we will just keep going until we get what we want. Whether it's being allowed to do it or being maybe somebody looks the other way so that we can do what we need to do. But it's very hard for counterculturists like myself to just take no for an answer. I can take no if I know that it's being worked on in the future. If you tell me it's going to take a month or two to get implemented, I'll give you a month or two. But after that month or two, I'm going to be right back at your door and I'm going to be asking you again. So my boss knew that I wasn't going to give up. And the second thing is he knew that I had done my research. And the one thing about people that are counterculturists, we don't just go do stuff on a whim. We don't just run out and go, well, I'm going to change the hose bed because I saw it on YouTube. Yeah, there are people like that. And I get it, right? But We are the type of people who will look at something, analyze it, research it, come up with a solution, talk to 50 different people about it, try and get some input, and then present it as we see fit. So that was the other thing that my boss knew, was that I wasn't just coming with this out of nowhere. I had actually thought about it. And so we had a good discussion. I'll be honest, I didn't get the answer that I wanted. He said that it wasn't something that we could change right now, but they're going to look at it here in the future. And I asked him to hold to that, and I believe he will. So, when we talk about counterculturism in the fire service, this is something that is really near and dear to my heart. As I have gone through my career, not only in personal circumstances, but looking at NIOSH reports, looking at line of duty injuries, there are a lot of times that people who didn't necessarily have a voice could have had the information or the solution to prevent something bad from happening. And it's really sad to me that there are departments that are out there who still, to this day, if you start out day one, you don't know anything. And by year 5, you know just enough to not get yourself killed or get anybody else killed. And then you look at other departments who have taken the completely opposite approach, and they've said, okay, we want to make a cultural change. We want to change our apparatus. We want to change whatever it is. We're going to seek out those counterculturists, and we're going to figure out what they already have. If you don't realize this already, if you go to a counterculturist and you ask them something, if they have the answer, they've already done the research, looked into it, come up with the idea, and they're just waiting for somebody to come ask them, right? Most of the time we'll come to you, but there are times where if somebody comes to us, we've already thought about it, right? Maybe it's not that hill that we wanted to die on, but we got it on the back burner. So a lot of departments that are flourishing right now, that are doing really well with their personnel, with their public, with their governing bodies, they have taken that approach where they look and say, okay, if we have somebody who is knowledgeable in this area and passionate in this area, those are the people that we want to be doing those tasks. So I think it's really funny to watch and kind of see how we've had this culture change over the last 10 or 15 years, because some people have gone that direction and then other people have gone the opposite direction and have become even more stringent. So I'm not here to tell you how to run your department. And for the chiefs watching, I'm never going to walk in and say, hey, you need to do this or you need to do that. But what I will tell you is that people that are counterculturists are some of the most passionate people that you have in your own organization. And I feel like you should be looking to them. I feel like you should be at least entertaining their ideas. You don't have to do everything that they say, but you can take a look at it, and maybe it is something that could work for you. So for the counterculturists out there like me, you are not alone. There are tons of people out there like us. I know it gets frustrating every once in a while. We want to change the world overnight, but we all have to learn to just take it bit by bit. And that was kind of the gist of the post, but I wanted to put a little bit more context to it. So we're looking forward to 2021. We're going to be up at Les Lukert Fire Conference in Nebraska, February 5th through the 8th. And I got some other great stuff coming. Labette Community College down here in Kansas. We got revolutionary fire tactics at the lake that we're helping with, logistics stuff. So there's going to be some great things this year. We're really looking forward to it. As always, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, give us a like, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys around. Until the next time we talk, take care, be safe, and we'll see you soon.